So one of the reasons that I was against lockdown right from the very beginning in this country is that I knew it wasn't going to get enforced equally and fairly, because the police in this country, they only police the policeable. And what I mean by that is they only seek to police the people who they can handle, you know, the people who are already following the law, the people who are law-abiding citizens. They're the only ones that the police seek to actually police in this country. And there are a few instances along the lockdown which stuck out in my memory and I think go to prove this, and I'll show you them now. And this is the first one that comes to mind. Moment COVIDiot thugs brawl in the street using bottles and sticks as they flout lockdown rules in broad daylight. Now, this was on the 14th of April. So this is when we were, we were still quite deep into lockdown at that point. It was before lockdown had been undermined, before Dominic Cummings or that professor who had that affair or anything like that. So, we were getting 800 deaths a day. So, yeah, it was quite a big deal. And here's the video. This is when we were at 2 people. You weren't allowed to gather in groups of more than 2 people. Now, where are the police? What arrests were made? Because I don't see, considering we were actually locked down and we, still are to an extent, living in a police state, where are the police in this situation? I've had the police round the pub twice since lockdown because we've turned a light on at midnight or something like that and the police come straight round in about 10 seconds. Someone grassed us up to the police apparently for having a gathering of 6 people a few weeks ago in the pub when we weren't. We just had a light on. So yeah, look at that, smashing bottles over each other's heads. Where were the police? How many arrests were made? Let's see. No arrests. Police were called to the scene, but no arrests were made and no injuries were reported. Okay, well that's fine. So I wonder what it is about this group of young men in Luton as well, nudge nudge, wink wink, that means that the police didn't really want to get involved or didn't want to arrest anyone. I wonder. And here's another one. Police watch on as more than 150 travellers attend funeral for 2 teen boys despite social distancing rules. Let's have a look and see if there are any arrests. There's not even a mention of the word arrest in this article, right? And there I think you have a police officer guarding the funeral, literally turning his back to a bunch of travellers breaking the law. Now, again, I was against lockdown, so I think things like this should be able to take place. Obviously not the brawl, but I think the funerals, you should be able to have a big old funeral if you want, right? But why aren't the police enforcing the law? You have to ask that question. Why are they not enforcing the law on these people? A law which I don't agree with, but it's a law which the government wrote and it's not being enforced, and you've got police on site not enforcing the law, literally turning their back to it. It's just fucking crazy. So yeah, let's have a look and see what the law actually says. Staying alert and safe, social distancing, updated 4th of June. So this is since the lockdown has been eased a little bit. Everyone's actions have helped to reduce the transmission, well, apart from that traveller funeral and yeah, these guys, they didn't really help much to reduce transmission, did they? Again, I think the traveller funeral should be able to take place, but it's just the hypocrisy angle of it which I'm upset with. The government has set out its plan, blah, 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 blah. You can spend time outdoors, including private gardens and other outdoor spaces, in groups of up to 6 people from different households, following social distancing guidelines. Okay, so 6 people. Where are we? This is why you should stay alert and follow social distancing guidelines. You must not gather outdoors in groups of more than 6 people with people you do not live with. Okay, you must not. This guidance explains the measures that will help you to stay alert and stay safe as we continue to respond to the challenges of coronavirus. Key parts of these measures are underpinned by law. So let's follow this and see what we get. 2020, the Health Protection Coronavirus Restrictions England Regulations 2020. So a new bit of law that they've wrote specifically for coronavirus, yeah? These regulations may be cited as part of the blah, 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 26th of March, so they're in force, these regulations. These regulations apply in relation to England only. Yeah, okay. In these regulations, blah, blah, blah. Shit, where's the bit I was looking for? So I found the bit I was looking for. Restrictions on gatherings. During the emergency period, unless paragraph 2 applies, no person may participate in a gathering which takes place in a public or private place, outdoors and consists of more than 6 persons, or indoors and consists of more than 2 persons, right? So I've got a problem with the Black Lives Matter protests which are taking place at the moment all over the world, but particularly in England, in London, and I think there was, Birmingham, and other places. Oh, and there's going to be one in Eastbourne as well on Saturday, in case you didn't know. So let's read paragraph 2 and see if these protests are actually legal or not, shall we? The paragraph applies where all the persons in the gathering are members of the same household. Well, I doubt all 15,000 people in London who attended that Black Lives Matter gathering were members of the same household. The person is attending a funeral where it's a protest, not a funeral, so that doesn't apply. The person concerned is an elite athlete, the coach of an elite athlete, the parent, necessary for training or protest, so it doesn't apply. The gathering is reasonably necessary. Here we go, it could be under here. For work purposes, no. To facilitate a house move, no. To provide carers, no. To provide emergency assistance, no. For the purposes of early years childcare, no. To enable one or more persons in the gathering to avoid injury or illness or escape risk of harm. Well, it seems like the Black Lives Matter protests have actually increased risk of harm and illness and injury, so no. To continue existing arrangements for access to and contact between parents and children, no. The person concerned is fulfilling a legal obligation or participating in legal proceedings, so I guess that means like jury service or something like that, which, no. The gathering takes place at not at an educational facility. So it's an illegal gathering. That 15,000 strong protest in London was illegal, according to, what law are we looking at? According to the Health Protection Coronavirus Restrictions England Regulation 2020, which came into force on the 26th of March and are still currently in force. So they were illegal. Okay? Bear that in mind as we watch this next video. A few videos from the protest, shall we? The illegal protests. Justice for me! So, first thing I want you to pay attention to is who's actually there, right? Can you spot any old people or families or, anyone like that attending this protest? Because from what I can see here, it looks like a bunch of university students. Like they're literally all university students, like mid-20s, millennials, early 30s maybe. Justice for George Floyd! Justice for George Floyd! Yeah, justice! Let's have a look, hold on. Derek Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announced an upgraded charge of second-degree murder for Derek Chauvin, the officer who knelt on George Floyd's neck. The other 3 officers involved in the case were also charged. So they're getting charged. So George Floyd is getting justice. It's unfortunate what happened to him and disgusting what happened to him. And I think that the guy who kneeled on his neck should be behind bars for a very long time. But, forming a protest like justice for George Floyd, yeah. He's getting justice. They're literally being put away. And the thing which I find, again, going back to the hypocrisy angle with all of this, right, is they're going to try and rush this trial. They're going to rush this Derek Chauvin guy's trial to try and get it through and get him in prison as quickly as they can, because Black Lives Matter is kicking up such a stink across the entire globe somehow. I don't quite know how they've managed to mobilise that well. But anyway, so yeah, they're going to try and rush this trial as quickly as possible. And when it comes to trials, think about the jury. What jury do you think is going to find Derek Chauvin innocent in light of all these fucking mobs which are going around smashing shit up? What jury do you think is going to find him innocent? This is literally a witch trial. You want to talk about rights? Everyone has the right to a fair trial, right? And Derek Chauvin, even though I'm not, condoning what he did, I'm not saying what he did was the right thing, I think he should be in prison for a long time. But he's not going to get a fair trial, is he? So, you want to talk about rights? What about Derek Chauvin's right to a fair trial? Which has been completely stripped away from him because of all these fucking protests which are going on. And going back to hypocrisy again, what about when Tommy Robinson was standing outside that court doing a news report or whatever it was, and he got arrested because he might prejudice the jury or prejudice the trial or do something like that? Are all these protests going on across the entire world not going to prejudice Derek Chauvin's trial? Is he not entitled to a fair trial? This is the hypocrisy that I was talking about. I can't fucking stand it. So let's watch a little bit more. Oh, before I go on, this was the London protest, right? So yeah, again, all millennials, all university students. Now this is the Birmingham one, the one that took place in Birmingham. Let's just have a look. Can you see any old people, any families, any children? Fuck off, Siri. No. All university students, all sort of 20s, 30s, people who should really be at work, but they can't because the government shut their business down or whatever. So, yeah, let's carry on watching, shall we? Black Lives Matter!
Defend yourself. Like my Ghanaian brother said, that we used to eat from the trees, the garden.
What the fuck is this girl up to? Like, what activism is this? What protest is this? The thing about activism and protests, right? If you think about, like, hunger strikes or Rosa Parks. Let's take Rosa Parks, for example, the woman who sat at the front of the bus, right, during the civil rights movement. Protest usually involves some form of self-sacrifice, yeah? So a hunger strike, you're starving yourself to get a point across, right? And my activism of putting these videos up, which I've just started, has seen loads of people, first of all, call me a racist, and second, purge me from their Facebook accounts. Like, get rid of me, I'm not their friend anymore. So, me doing this does involve a certain amount of self-sacrifice on my part. And I'm sacrificing my time as well. It's my day off today. I should be doing other things than addressing global issues on Facebook. I'd rather not. I'd rather be, chilling out, watching a film or something. But what self-sacrifice is taking place here? Because I don't see it. It's literally just a gathering.
The fruits, we make everything ourselves and relying on artificial things. We're not supposed to be living in a society like this. We need to remember being fucked by this government every.
Yeah, we're being fucked by the government every single day, mate. I actually happen to agree with that. We are being fucked by the government every single day. It started on March 23rd, 2020. So about 10 weeks ago. That's how long we've been being fucked by the government every single day. But yeah, No one wants to talk about that, do they? No one wants to talk about the illegal lockdown. Which is a very confusing position to find yourself in, because on the one hand, I think the lockdown's illegal, but on the other hand, I think that this shouldn't be taking place because we're in lockdown, you know? So you might call me a hypocrite, but the hypocrisy is with the government for allowing shit like this to take place, but not allowing businesses to open. I'm just pointing out that hypocrisy. I think these people should be allowed to go and protest. They should be allowed to protest. By law, they should be allowed. But I don't think a protest is necessary. I don't think they should be protesting. Just because you should be allowed to do something doesn't mean you should be doing that thing, you know? And look at this girl here, right? This girl holding the murdered 25th of May. Look at her face. Anyone would think fucking Princess Diana just died. You know? I mean, again, I have to keep saying this because I don't want to sound heartless, but it was just some random guy in America that got killed. The people who killed him are going to get rushed through an unfair trial so that they can get put behind bars nice and quick. And look, we want justice. Well, there's your justice. What trial do you think is going to be finding Derek Chauvin innocent? There's no trial. There's not even a single person on the planet at the moment that would be part of a jury that would find that guy innocent. So there's your justice. So you don't need to be here. We can all just go home. Fucking ridiculous. So again, more college students, university students, you know, and people who haven't got anything better to do. That's the other point. So because the entire economy's closed down, people got nothing to do, and then you know, someone comes along and says, hey, do you like black lives? And it's like, yeah, of course I like black lives, of course I want black people to be okay, you know. Well, why didn't you come and join this protest then? And it's like, well, I could either stay at home, binge watching Netflix like I have been for the past 10 weeks, or I could go and join this protest. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it, you know? I mean, I love protests. I'm going to the Black Lives Matter protest in Eastbourne on Saturday. I'm going to end up going to it because I've got nothing better to do. So, but how many of these people do you think actually care about the issue at hand? And what do they want as well? What do you want us to do? Do you want us to just fucking shoot Derek Chauvin in the head? Or, you know, take him out and fucking hang him in public? What is it you're asking for? You know what I mean? You're not even asking for anything. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't stand it. I can't stand having to watch this and fucking come on Facebook and explain it to people. And like I said, what self-sacrifice is taking place here? You know, what are they sacrificing to be there? They're not sacrificing anything. They might be putting their own health at risk, but in doing that, they're also putting public health at risk, aren't they? Again, spot the old person, spot the child, spot the family. It's all just millennials. And here we get the authority, right? Finally, after all this time, we see some authority, yeah? Bearing in mind, we pretty much live in a police state at the moment, so it's quite strange how this is the first bit of police we've seen in this entire video. But look what they're doing. This guy in this police van here is literally looking out in front of him at the road, right? And seeing people break the law, okay? But what do? They're just cruising along, listening to a bit of Billy Ocean, you know? It's just fucking, it's ridiculous. Again, what are they asking for? What is it that they want? Right, I just want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that a lot of the people attending this protest at the moment are being paid furlough money, right? So I did some calculations. I've got some articles ready for you. UK employment rate at record high before lockdown. The 3 months to February before the effects, blah, 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 blah. There was an estimated 33.07 million people in employment, right? This was just before lockdown started. And HMRC says 6.3 million people have been temporarily laid off by 800,000 companies, yeah? So 6.3 million people are on furlough out of 33.07 million people employed, okay? Now, I put that into a calculator and that works out to be about 19%. So about 1 in 5, right? Now, bear that in mind as we watch this, that 1 in 5, on average, 1 in 5 of the people here are being paid furlough money. Let's just see how many people we can count here right now, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, furlough. 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 You know, the government's actually paying people to protest. They're paying people to break the law. But God forbid my mum should open her pub up. Speaking of people who are being paid to be there, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police officers, 6, 7, 8. There's one on the left there. 6, 7, 8. Any more? No, not that we can see. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's about 20 people there, right? So 1 in 5 of them. So 4 of these people are being paid furlough. Just these people alone are being paid furlough to go out and protest. And if you think about it, because apparently there was 15,000 people in London protesting. That's what, 3,750 of those people were on furlough, being paid by the government to stay at home and save lives. Nine, 10, or was it 8, 9? I can't remember. Anyway, about 10 police officers. Just escorting them down the road as well. And so these police officers who could be, you know, somewhere else actually doing some good for people are instead babysitting these university students while they protest about a guy that got killed in America, I think. Are they protesting about that, or are they protesting about black lives in general and how the discrimination that black people suffer all the time? What are they protesting? What do they want? What action do they want to see taken? You know? It's just ridiculous. Here's one more video for you, just quickly, because this video is getting way too long as it is. Oh yeah, fuck media, blood. You know what I'm saying, G? Look at that, that's a good bit of protest in there, isn't it? Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm really struggling at the moment. Look at this, right?
Okay guys, so what's happened, we've been trying to walk away from the danger here, but it's been following up.
Look, trying to walk away from the danger. Yeah, I don't fucking blame you, mate.
Us.
Look at this. Look at that coming towards. Look, they're starting to pour in behind him. Nicked his fucking microphone.
Goodness me, I mean, this just goes...
He's actually running for his life in London.
On the news today.
I'm on the news, family, no, I'm saying,
It just goes to show how dangerous it is for our reporters.
Yeah, how dangerous it is in fucking Wild West London. You'd have thought it was somewhere in the fucking Middle East or some shit, wouldn't you? No, it's fucking London in England in 2020. Look, Londoners protest. Thousands of people march against racism. Yeah, well done, people. Is that a march against racism? Going and harassing reporters and stealing their microphones and stuff?
Reporters for all
It's amazing how the news will tell you that, yeah, it's a march against racism. Like, you've got that as the little banner on the bottom, yeah? But you're literally watching a guy run for his life, like an innocent reporter run for his life, you know, or run for his safety. Maybe I shouldn't be so dramatic. But who knows? Who knows what this fucking crowd's going to do once they get hold of you?
On the street at the moment trying to...
Look, there's the police officer there.
...cover these riots.
Oh, there's a couple more there.
Running so high. It's good to see you've got police there now.
Yeah, good to see you got police there now. Fucking... Is it me or did this officer, this one right here, yeah? Did he just wave that reporter or the camera crew just to go past? Like, quickly, get out of here, quick, before the mob catch up with you.
It's good to see you've got police there now.
See what I mean about the police only enforcing the law on the enforceable? He knows, that police officer knows that journalist will run for his life. So he tells him to run for his life. Because then he hasn't got to do his fucking job and clear the fucking streets of all these people conducting this illegal protest. Protest.
Ben's dropped his microphone.
No, it got nicked.
That has come out of nowhere. That and we know these protests have been going on this last hour or so, but that level and turning on the media like that. Boy, oh boy, that is not good. We'll try and get in touch with Ben as soon as we possibly can, but he was told to go. You can hear
Yeah, I bet he was told to go.
Now.
I wouldn't need to be told to go. I'd be getting the fuck out of there.
Obviously, that crowd is very heightened as well right now. We saw them going through that.
Yeah, very heightened, very emotional.
There.
See that guy there? Just bikes up and just tries to fucking slap that camera. Look, this one here. Look.
Underpass
misses
there,
though.
So it wasn't a great situation for Ben. He took off. Our cameraman also stuck there. Looked like there was a fair bit of jostling.
Yeah,
like
just a little bit of jostling.
Well, at that point, which is good, and hopefully more security there. But
am I going nuts?
Coming in now to try and sort that crowd out. Ben is still
still running for his life.
And more police are coming now. That's right outside the Houses of Parliament.
Look at this. Just look at this, would you? This is outside Downing Street. We've got a situation where the Prime Minister is sitting inside Downing Street, yeah? And there's this massive fucking mob right outside his gates, and he's like, oh shit, I hope they don't get in. It's like, you're the Prime Minister. Get some fucking water cannons out, or some fucking tanks or some shit. Get them off the fucking street. I would not be putting up with this shit. Look! Think of the fucking transmission rate. Think of the police on the front line who, in fairness, they haven't got a choice but to be there, okay? Because it is their job, right? Although they're not doing their job, but they've got to at least be there. No PPE, no mask, no nothing. What if we end up taking the entire fucking police force out? Or they all have to go on self-isolation at one time? You know, these are resources which we should be saving for other things, but instead... I can't breathe! Yes you can, because you're not dead. Nothing actually happened to you. Here we have a woman slapping a police officer. A woman who, by the way, has got a mask on, wearing it round her chin. So she could do the decent thing and protect this police officer who has got no choice but to be there by just going like this and putting her mask over her fucking mouth. But instead, she's up in her fucking face, screaming and shouting. Look. Throwing water over the police. What a fucking joke. But if my mum opens the door to her pub, the fucking army will be round, no doubt. Oh, what, bruv? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hold the line. Get back or I'm gonna push you. Oh shit, here we go. What's this down here? Look. Fucking hell. Look. Black guy's been caught by the police. Right, let's see some fucking police brutality, shall we? Let's see what actually happens to this poor black kid who's just been caught by the police. I tell you, I wouldn't want to be a fucking black person caught by British police while I'm in a fucking illegal process. Let's see what happens to him. I bet he gets a fucking knee on the neck, doesn't he? Oh wait, no, they're all just stepping over him, all treating him with kid gloves, if it even is a him. He's got a big beaming fucking smile on his face, and then we get to see this shit show, right? Several arrests were made. Oh, fucking scary. Look at that! Look! Fucking bike just gets fucking launched over the crowd. Do you know how many arrests were made? Right? I think I've lost the article. Yeah. Oh no, hold on. This might be the article actually. Yeah, it is the article. 13 people arrested outside Downing Street. Is that just outside Downing Street? How many people were arrested in total? Arrested on suspicion of assault. 2 men have been arrested on suspicion of assaulting an emergency worker and violent disorder following an incident near Downing Street. Right? So, Wild West London, which has been fucking had a knife crime epidemic for the past like 2 years or whatever. It's been plagued with knife crime. Everyone thinks it's a good idea to mobilise these people and get them on the streets shouting about how oppressed they are and give them a free pass to break the law, and nothing bad will come of that unless you're, you know, one of these fucking emergency workers or the police or anyone who just happens to be walking past, or do you know what I mean? Look at this police officer. Fucking hell, where's the fucking water cannons? I think you should fucking probably upgrade it actually to fucking flamethrowers. Just fucking sort it out. Fuck me.